Hello, everybody. It is me, Anthony, and it's the time of the week again. It's Anthony's NFL picks. Week 4. Man, 4th week already in the NFL. We're already a quarter done almost, and this season's actually going very quickly somehow. I'm very excited about what's going to be going on this season, so enough explaining, let's just dive in. Coming up at our first game for Thursday Night Football, we got the 2-1 Lions and the 2-1 Packers. Lions are here after beating Atlanta, knocking them out 20-6 to end their undefeated season. The Lions look very good and promising, however, C.J. Gardner-Johnson's out. The Packers are also here after winning over the Saints, coming back from 17-0. They scored 18 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to get their second win of the season, 18-17. It's in Wisconsin, this game. But however, for the Packers, Aaron Jones and David Bakhtiari's out. So I might have to go with the Lions on this win. Lions will beat the Packers 24-17. Lions will be 3-1. Packers will be 2-2. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got a London game. We got the 2-1 Falcons and the 1-2 Jaguars. Falcons are here after losing to Detroit, and they had a very tough game last time. So they're going on to London this time. Our very first London game of the season, going on against the 1-2 Jaguars, are here after getting blown out by the Texans 37-17. The Texans completely beat them in Jacksonville. But I think the Jaguars are angry, and I think they're going to rebound. So I'm thinking Jacksonville will pull off this dub in London. Jaguars will beat the Falcons 17-10. Jaguars will be 2-2. Falcons will be 2-2. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 1-2 Rams and the 2-1 Colts. Rams are here after losing yesterday in a very close game against Cincinnati, 19-16, mainly because the Rams didn't have Cooper Kupp and they were playing against Joe Burrow's Bengals, and they were away too to top things off. They're going to be in Indianapolis against the Colts, who won without Anthony Richardson. They actually went into overtime and actually beat the Ravens 22-19. And Gardner Minshew played very good, and they were playing actually in Baltimore. They upset the Ravens. But to be honest, I might think the Rams are going to win, even though it's in Indianapolis. But next week after this game in Philadelphia, Cooper Kupp is finally returning after suffering from a hamstring injury. Rams will beat the Colts 23-14 because, however, Anthony Richardson's still out. Anyways, I'm thinking the Rams are going to win. As I just stated, it was 23-14. Rams will be 2-2. The Colts will also be 2-2. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an AFC North rivalry between the 2-1 Ravens and the 2-1 Browns. Ravens are here after getting humiliated by the Colts in overtime without Anthony Richardson because he was still out with a concussion. We don't know if he's going to be returning, though. That's the issue. But the Ravens, they tried their hardest without Odell Beckham and J.K. Dobbins, and they lost. But they were playing a great fight, though. They're going to Cleveland against the 2-1 Browns, who completely beat the Titans 27-3. I know it's in Cleveland, but I might have to go with the Ravens. I'm thinking the Ravens are going to win and rebound from this. They're pretty mad about what happened at home against the Colts. But now they're going to Cleveland, though, and the Browns don't have Nick Chubb, and they still beat the Titans without Nick Chubb. But to be honest, I may have to go with the Ravens on this one. Ravens will beat the Browns 30-27. Ravens will be 3-1. Browns will be 2-2. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the battle of the 0-3. The 0-3 Vikings and the 0-3 Panthers. Vikings are here after losing at home last time against the Chargers in a very close game, but they could not pull off a victory. The Vikings also got Cam Akers over this week, so we're going to see how he's going to be. They're going on to Carolina against the 0-3 Panthers, who lost to Seattle because Bryce Young was out and Andy Dalton was starting. And I don't think Andy Dalton's that good like he used to be in Cincinnati, however. But I think the Vikings will finally get their first win of the season and beat Carolina 28-19. Vikings will be 1-3. The Panthers will be 0-4. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 1-2 Bengals and the 1-2 Titans, the battle of the 1-2 teams. Bengals are here after merely beating the Rams of yesterday, as I just stated earlier. The Bengals defense finally showed up, and they have been looking very hot. So we're going to see how they're going to do in Tennessee against the Titans, who are recovering from that loss against the Browns, 27-3. But to be honest, I'm thinking Cincinnati will pull off this win. Joe Burrow is back. His calf, I think, is going to get better, but let's see what's going to happen. Bengals will beat the Titans 20-13. Bengals will be 2-2. The Titans will be 1-3. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an NFC South matchup between the 2-1 Buccaneers and the 2-1 Saints. Buccaneers are here after getting beat by the Eagles last time, 25-11 yesterday. However, they're going to New Orleans against the 2-1 Saints, who completely choked the game and got beat by the Saints by 1 point. But to be honest, I may have to go with the Buccaneers somehow, because the Saints, Derek Carr got hurt also on Sunday. They lost, he hurt his shoulder, and he's going to be probably missing. He's questionable to return, so if he's not returning, I'm thinking that the Buccaneers may win this game. Buccaneers will beat the Saints 27-21. Buccaneers will be 3-1. The Saints will be 2-2. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an AFC East matchup between the 3-0 Dolphins and the 2-1 Bills. Dolphins are here after destroying Denver 70-20. That was a crazy game Sunday. They completely put them 6 feet in the ground. The Broncos, oh my goodness, they are terrible. Even when Sean Payton's coach, they can't do anything good. They can't even ride. All the time when they ride, they always crash and burn. But we'll get to Denver later. The Bills are here after sadly beating my Washington Commanders 37-3. I'm very salty about that loss, however, but still, I might go with Buffalo on this win. Bills will beat the Dolphins 29-25. Bills will be 3-1. The Dolphins will also be 3-1. We move on with our next game. All right, just give me a second. Coming up at our next game, we got the battle of the 0-3 teams. We got the 0-3 Broncos and the 0-3 Bears. Broncos are here after getting destroyed against Miami. Oh my goodness, 70-20. Broncos County, let's die, to be honest. I gotta see what's gonna happen, though. That's the only issue. But the Bears are also here after getting destroyed by the Chiefs, 41-10. Let's see. It's just the battle of the garbage. The Bears are doing really bad, and I think the coach could get fired, Matt Eberflus, to be honest, if he doesn't change his ways. But I'm thinking that the Bears will get their first win of the season and beat Denver. Bears will beat the Broncos 24-3. Bears will be 1-3. Denver will be 0-4. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an NFC East matchup between my 2-1 Commanders and the undefeated 3-0 Eagles. Commanders, they're here after getting annihilated by Buffalo, almost getting shut out, 37-3. I knew we were going to lose, but Sam Howell threw 4 interceptions that game, and that's not good because Buffalo's a Super Bowl contender for all I care. We knew we were not going to win that game, but at least we didn't get shut out, you know what I mean? We're going on to Philadelphia. This is the only problem. We're going to Lincoln Financial Field against the Eagles, who completely destroyed Tampa Bay yesterday. But to be honest, I'm thinking that the Eagles will clobber the Commanders. Eagles will beat the Commanders 35-7. Eagles will be 4-0. Commanders will be 2-2. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 2-1 Steelers and we got the 1-2 Texans taking on each other. Steelers, they're here after winning that game on Sunday night against the Raiders. They almost blew that game. They won 23-18. Steelers look very good with Kenny Pickett and George Pickens and TJ Watt. They're going on to Houston, taking on the 1-2 Texans, who embarrassed Jacksonville and beat them by 20 points with C.J. Stroud and everybody else. I'm going to go with the Steelers on this victory. Steelers will beat the Texans 22-9. Steelers will be 3-1. Texans will be 1-3. We will be moving on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an AFC West showdown between the 1-2 Raiders and the 1-2 Chargers. The battle of the 1-2 teams. My oh my. Raiders. They almost came back and beat the Steelers Sunday night in Vegas. That's their very first game in Vegas. They're going to be away in SoFi against the Chargers, who beat the Vikings barely. So I'm going to have to go with the Chargers because the Raiders, they're not at home, number one. But the Chargers also have a lot of injuries. Mike Williams tore his ACL. He's out for the whole season. Eric Kendricks is out. Austin Eckler is out. They have a lot of injuries. That's why they're currently 1-2 right now. If they weren't hurt right now, they'd probably be 2-1 right now. But I'm thinking that the Chargers will hang on and beat the Raiders 27-24. Chargers will be 2-2. Raiders 1-3. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an NFC West showdown between the 1-2 Cardinals and the 3-0 Niners. Cardinals are here after somehow beating the Cowboys 28-16. They completely destroyed them, which I was not happy about because I'm not a Cowboys fan, even though I'm a Commanders fan, because I chose the Cowboys in my picks. But we'll get to my picks at the end of this video. Also, while you're at it, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and make sure to turn on those notification bells to get updated on my newest content so you don't miss anything. Back to what I was saying. Cardinals somehow beat the Cowboys. That's very, very shocking somehow, even though I think they're going to get Caleb Williams in the draft. But they're going on to San Francisco. They were lucky because they were at home against the, they were away at home actually against the Cowboys. That's why they kind of won. They had a home field advantage. But they're going on to San Francisco against the Niners, who are 3-0. Brock Purdy played very good and beat the Giants on Thursday night. I think the Niners are going to win this game, but however, it's going to be a close game. 49ers will beat the Cardinals 31-27. 49ers will be 4-0. Cardinals will be 1-3. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 1-2 Patriots and the 2-1 Cowboys. Patriots are here after barely beating the Jets 15-10. Patriots are having a hard time. The Patriots won 15 straight against the Jets. They'll be taking on each other again in Week 18. But anyway, it doesn't matter because the Patriots are not going to beat Dallas. They're 2-1, the Cowboys, and they're very angry about that loss against Arizona last week. And I'm thinking that they're at home this time. They have a home field advantage. I'm thinking that the Cowboys will beat the Patriots 20-18. Cowboys will be 3-1. Patriots will be 1-3. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game for Sunday Night Football, we got the 2-1 Chiefs and the 1-2 Jets. Chiefs are here after getting beat by the Bears. And fun fact now, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are confirmed to be dating now, which is actually pretty cool, not gonna lie. And I don't really like Taylor Swift that much. She's very nice though, but I don't really like her music. Don't come at me, please. But anyway, the Jets are here after losing to New England. They got beat by 5 points. And a lot of fans were booing because Zach Wilson was playing. Zach Wilson is not Aaron Rodgers, tell you that right now. The Jets are cursed, I think, and the Jet fans can't have anything good, to be honest. But I'm thinking Kansas City will walk in MetLife and just stomp on the Jets. Chiefs will beat the Jets 30-13. Chiefs will be 3-1. Jets will be 1-3. We move on with our next game. And last but not least for Monday Night Football, we're going to have only one Monday Night Football game until Week 14. For Monday Night Football this week, we got the 2-1 Seahawks and the 1-2 Giants. Seahawks are here after beating Carolina. They did very good with Geno Smith and DK Metcalf. However, Jamal Adams is out. He's hurt right now. But they're going to go to MetLife against the Giants, who also lost Saquon Barkley, their great running back. He's probably going to be out for weeks to weeks. That's going to be a problem for the Giants. They're 1-2, getting stomped on by the Niners, 30-12. So that's going to be a very big disadvantage for them. I'm thinking that Seattle will hang on this game, and I'm thinking they're going to be winning over the Giants. Seahawks will beat the Giants 19-9. Seahawks will be 3-1. The Giants will be 1-3. And that is it for this week, everybody. Thank you for watching Anthony's NFL Picks. Be sure to tune in for next week, Anthony's NFL Picks Week 5, which will be premiering on Tuesday, October 3rd. And other than that, this is Anthony, and thank you for watching. And also, before I go, my picks so far, my record is actually 30-18. This is actually the same record I had 2 years ago, fun fact. But anyway, thank you for watching, and have a great day.